Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement.
Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
This is the smell of the leftover tuna fish sandwich you left in your lunchbox over the weekend in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech! And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Ah, smell the difference? Hefty Ultra Strong has Arm & Hammer with continuous odor control, so no matter what's inside your trash, you can stay one step ahead of stinky. And for bigger jobs, try the superior strength of Hefty Large Black Bags.
Hello, good morning, angels, and welcome back to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Alana. As you can tell by the title, today's episode is all about hobbies, finding new hobbies, and trying new things, specifically in your 20s. I was going back and forth about what I wanted to talk about on this week's episode of the pod. I had so many different ideas, but I didn't know which one I was feeling more called to talk about right now, and I kind of just had a little epiphany when I was on a little walk before this to go grab a coffee and just refresh and re-energize my mind, my space, and everything. And I just thought this is something I should talk about. As I mentioned last week, I'm trying to discuss more things that I'm mentally thinking about, that I'm talking about with friends, that I'm currently going through in life, almost to keep it like a personal diary for you guys and to share whatever knowledge and wisdom and opinions and thoughts I have on these things in real time with you. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. I'm honestly feeling more creative and inspired again with all streams and platforms and types of content and all of that, and it feels really good. It's definitely something that comes in waves. It ebbs and it flows, and it feels really good to be back in a state of creativity. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm doing weekly vlogs on YouTube. They will go live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're one for longer form content, last week I uploaded a 40-minute vlog. I don't know how long this week is going to be, but I'm definitely aiming between the 30 to 40-minute mark for you guys. And then if you missed last week's bonus episodes come out on the last Friday of every month. They're just little advice columns answering questions that you guys have sent me on Instagram when I do my weekly Monday Q&As. So definitely go check out August's bonus episode. On to my current faves. I'm really loving the Element electrolytes. I tried them a while ago and I had like the plain one. It was at Steps in LA and I hated it, but I tried the raspberry and the watermelon flavors. I picked them up at Other Ship here in Toronto because they're not really easily found in Canada, but I picked up those flavors and I really like them. I like that there's no added sugars. I like that it's really like to the point and clean. So I've been definitely loving Element electrolytes. I didn't like the citrus flavor. I don't like the plain one. I was okay with the orange, but definitely raspberry and watermelon are my fave. I've been trying to switch up my playlist on my runs, and I've been doing themed runs. I got this idea from Jamie Van Sleuven. You guys know who she is. You commented when I posted a photo of her before I even knew who she was. I think it's Jamie Van Sleuven. Is that right? Jamie Van Sleuven, yes. I think it was her that posted that she was doing themed runs. And ever since I've been doing that, I essentially just search like, say, Justin Bieber all songs and find a playlist that someone's made with all their songs and just put on shuffle. And it is honestly such a mood booster. It has changed how I feel mentally on my runs. It's a mood booster. It's a boost of serotonin. It's honestly great. Definitely recommend that for your workouts, for your runs, for your hot girl walks, whatever it may be. It is such a mood booster. I've done Justin Bieber, I've done Shawn Mendes, I've done Tate McRae. Yeah, that's all I've done so far. But we could see me doing Taylor Swift. I don't know who else. We'll see. Maybe like Fred again, all songs. It's a fun vibe. I'm also obsessed with my new hoops from The Perfect hoop. I have 2 different ones. I have a thicker pair, and then I have this set where it's like for my first and second holes, and I really like them. They're really cute. And then again, like I said, really into vlogging and just really loving editing videos and my podcast. I feel like I have more purpose and I'm feeling more fulfilled in my role as a creator. So cheers to myself, giving myself more work and finding new work and means of work. It definitely feels good. I prefer editing on the computer, doing YouTube videos and podcasts. It feels like more work, like more legitimate work than just editing a little TikTok. Not that that's not work, but I don't know. It just feels a little more thoughtful, more, I don't know. It makes the brain work a little bit more. Okay, let's get into the bulk of the episode, and we're gonna literally be discussing everything hobbies, trying new things, the mindset surrounding it, what my hobbies are, my experience finding hobbies, what I've noticed within my friends and people that I go out with and stuff like that, the differences in how like a man versus a woman culture-wise like approach hobbies and like what it's stereotypically like, at least within like the community of people that I've grown up with and I'm surrounded by. I would love to continue this discussion on socials. Feel free to debate it with me in the DMs on @AlanaBloomberg or @MorningRay Podcast on Instagram, or to even respond to the little poll that I'll post on Spotify, because you can do those fun little things. Also, I really shouldn't have had the second coffee that I'm currently drinking because I feel like I've got like a rush of anxiety over here. I don't know, lately before bed, I just feel like a burst of anxiety, and I really think it's because my cortisol is really high. So we're really trying to work on that. Clearly not with the second coffee, and it's 3 p.m. Actually, it's almost 4. But you know, small, slow baby steps. Let's start off with my experience with hobbies, with finding hobbies, etc. When I was growing up, pretty much my only hobby was dance. I would pick up like random things here and there, like making friendship bracelets with string, rainbow looms, drawing fashion sketches, playing Sims, building websites on Tumblr. I feel like anything technology-wise doesn't feel like a legitimate hobby to me. So that I find those are more like just like interests. But dance was definitely like the hobby that I identified with. Like I placed so much emphasis on who I was as a person based on that one hobby of being a dancer. I would introduce myself as a competitive dancer. Like that is where my identity sat. And it honestly felt really lost once I was no longer dancing. I stopped dancing after first year in university, and then social media kind of took place of that hobby, which again, like I don't really feel like anything technology wise is a true hobby. It just feels like an interest to me. Feel free to disagree, but that's just like my viewpoint on this. But social media was what I identified then as my hobby, but then it became my job, so it was no longer a hobby. And I noticed whenever I was like interviewing or going on dates and such like that, if the conversation of hobbies came up, like I didn't really have anything I worked out, and like social media, those were my only answers to be given. So I really made it a goal of mine this year to figure out what hobbies can I do? What hobbies can I have to kind of just like disconnect and unplug and just relax and do something besides work or school? My hobbies ended up being, this is what I have created as my list of hobbies. Number 1, working out. So like lifting, Pilates, personal training, that sort of shtick. Running. I would classify running as more of a hobby than just like working out, because to me, I feel like so many people work out, but running I feel like is a little bit more unique, and it's definitely something I classify as a hobby. Then I have reading. Reading is something I kind of fallen off with in the past 2 months. Reading is definitely a hobby I have picked up this past year. I don't know if this would classify as a hobby, but I feel like it is because it's kind of like unique. A lot of these hobbies are like also self-care practices, but I would say othership, like it's the place where I go and do the sauna and ice bath. It's something I try to do once a week. I'm pretty consistent with it, and I feel like it's a whole community, and there's definitely like a skill and a technique behind it. So I would classify othership or like saunas and ice baths as a hobby of mine. And then I wasn't really sure, but I'm gonna say coffee is a hobby of mine. I love making my own lattes and stuff at home with my little Breville. I love researching and learning about espresso beans and the roasts and the different practices and how to best make an espresso shot and like pull a shot and like all these different things. I find coffee so interesting. I definitely classified that as a hobby. Okay, so to summarize, my hobbies are working out, running, reading, saunas and ice baths, and coffee. Now, I want you to think a little bit, what are your hobbies? Maybe think mentally, you can just like list them out in your head, or maybe you're gonna open the notes app on your phone and write them out, or maybe grab a piece of paper. I feel like the paper or notes method is by far the best. Just write out, pause this podcast, and write a list of your hobbies and interests and things that you do in your spare time outside of work or school that really just bring you joy and also give you a sense of community, a sense of purpose, add something to your life. It's something you look forward to doing. It's something you do pretty consistently. That's honestly why I think hobbies are so important. They give us all these feelings, like a sense of community, a sense of purpose, something to add to your life. It adds more to our identities. It makes us multifaceted humans. It makes us feel like we're more interesting and makes us more interesting to other people. It also gives us more points of connection to connect to other people, whether it be a platonic relationship, a working relationship, a romantic relationship, your relationship with your family members. Maybe it's a hobby you do with them. There's so many benefits that come out of doing hobbies and having interests outside of work or school. I think also that finding hobbies in your 20s can definitely be scary and daunting because it can be something new. It could be something you've never tried before. Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray. I feel like my list of things to buy, to do, activities that involve spending money is never ending around the holidays, making the idea of investing and saving and thinking about your future to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit more overwhelming. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement, even during the holidays. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you. You don't need a ton of time. You can create your Acorns account and start automatically investing your money in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now. That could be $5 a day or even just your spare change. That's right. Acorns can round every purchase you make up to the dollar and automatically invest your spare change for you. And you can get bonus investments just for buying the stuff you need from the brands you love. I personally love Acorns. It's simplified the investment process, which can be overwhelming and intimidating, but it just makes it so simple, so easy, and something more accessible no matter how much money you have to invest. Head to acorns.com/Alana or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/Alana. I'm super excited about today's sponsor. They've sponsored the podcast before, and This is a topic I'm super passionate about. I fear that us as girls struggle with PMS far more than we should, and we really shouldn't. I truly get the worst PMS symptoms. My boobs are sensitive, my face breaks out, my sugar controllings are out of whack. I feel like I'm just a bottomless pit. My mood is not the vibe, and Estro Control has been super helpful in helping manage those PMS symptoms and making that time of the month a lot more enjoyable. Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, a supplement company dedicated to making women's lives easier. Say no more. Estro Control contains science-backed herbal extracts that help support hormonal health, especially if you are someone like myself who struggles with PMS. It was created to help women feel like themselves all month long and to not struggle with the feelings PMS can cause. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Alana at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code Alana for 15% off today.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And I feel like a lot of us feel like we have to be the best at everything we do. I feel like we have to be the best right away. But think about some of the hobbies that you have done since you were a kid. Say you play a sport. You weren't great or perfect at that sport from the get-go. It took time. It took practice. You have to be open-minded to trying something new. You had to leave your ego at the door. You had to put in the effort and show up even when you didn't want to show up, and to push yourself and to challenge yourself. So when you're thinking of trying a new thing or finding a hobby, I want you to keep your mindset childlike. I want you to be open-minded. I want you to be curious. I want you to leave that ego of yours at the door. It's also a really good way to practice being independent and to enjoy more alone time. For example, reading. It's something you can do with other people, but for the most part, it is something that's very independent. Say running. Running can be independent or it can be a part of a group. If you want to go out and try these things, you can't always just rely on other people to do them with you. It's honestly kind of nice to go and have something for yourself and to try something for yourself. It's also a really great way to meet new people. Say you're going to a new workout class, or you're trying pottery, or you're joining a sports league or something. Like, it's a really good way to meet other people that have similar interests and passions and hobbies to you, which is really cool, because I feel like a lot of us, I get a lot of questions about how to make friends if you move to a new city, how to make friends at school, at university, at college, in your workplace. And I feel like hobbies are something that can really allow those relationships to blossom and to form and to find those connections, because a lot of the times, like, our friends are going to have similar interests to us, and that can be a good meeting ground to meet new people and to step out of your comfort zone and to find people outside of your existing social circle. I think there's something really interesting when it comes to hobbies. It's something I've really noticed within my community growing up, the kids at my high school, into university, and those same people now in our young adult lives in our early and mid 20s. But I find that women tend to fall out of their sports and hobbies in high school because they start to prioritize being social and hanging out with friends and going to parties and doing stuff like that. And that often continues into adulthood, like at post-secondary education, post-grad, that sort of thing. Whereas men tend to continue to participate in a lot of different sports and to join sports leagues and teams, specifically like in college and university and even in their working careers. Like I know so many guy friends that have joined soccer teams or go rock climbing or play tennis with their friends or are part of like a hockey league or something like that. And it's very rare that you hear, at least for me, and I wonder if it's the same in other communities, and in other cities, that you hear of like a woman being a part of a sports team and a sports league or whatever it may be, unless they're like a part of like the university team and they're continuing to train for that school. I just remember in high school, so many girls in my dance team ended up leaving probably like between 9th to 11th grade, so many left. And myself and a few of my other friends were some of the few that stuck to dancing competitively throughout all of high school. And then obviously I kind of just dropped off in university, but I still picked up working out and being active. And I also did recreational dance for a little bit. But I just find it interesting because a lot of guys hold on to their sport so much longer, whereas like the girls kind of just like dropped off throughout the years. Like I wonder why. Like I wonder, is it like a social pressure? Is it a fear of, if I continue to dedicate so much time to this sport, I won't be popular because I won't be able to hang out after school or to have these plans or to go to the parties or to hang out with the guys sort of thing. I don't know. Even like, I feel like my high school was kind of lame in the sense that like I loved my high school a lot, but I feel like no one really had school spirit. It definitely wasn't like in American high school, how they're portrayed in the movies or what I see on social media. Some of the guys join like hockey teams or whatever, if we even had them. Like there weren't really sports teams, or at least like it wasn't a thing to go and watch the games unless you were like dating someone that was on the team, but it wasn't like a thing. Like it wasn't like we didn't have like a quarterback on the football team. There was no football team. We didn't have like, I don't know what, I'm like so bad with sports. I did not have a brother growing up. Like the captain of the basketball team, there was no like sports really. The only thing that I can remember was like the social hierarchy and who was invited to what party or who was hanging out with who. Like there were no cheerleaders. Like I was a dancer in high school because I was in the dance program. We had the drama program. There were people in the drama program, the music program, visual arts. Mostly like dance and drama were like the two most talked about because people would like come to the dance shows or go to the drama shows to watch. That was a big thing. Sports weren't a thing. The only thing that would bring us all together outside of school was parties where we would be drinking and just like being stupid teenagers. Wow, we really sidetracked over here, but I just find it so interesting how men are encouraged to continue to have hobbies and to stay dedicated to these things. And they're also so open-minded and so curious about trying different things. And like I don't know, I was going out with a guy who literally, and I've gone out with a lot of guys that did this, but they play so many different sports and get together with their friends different nights of the week to do the different sports and are on different leagues and teams and things. And like they'll go with the boys to go golf, they'll play basketball or like hang out and go and play hockey, they'll go on a bike ride. Like they're all very active. But I just don't find that with girls. Like we go on walks, like I'll go with a girlfriend to a workout class every now and again, but it's like not the same. I don't know. I feel like a lot, maybe it's just who I'm friends with. My closest friends do have a lot of hobbies, and I think that's what encouraged me to have more. But I feel like as you branch out in my social circle, they don't really have hobbies, stereotypical hobbies or things. Like they have like certain interests. I mean, like what's the difference between an interest and a hobby? That's actually a good question. Oh, where did my outline go? Versus hobbies. Okay, good to know I'm not the only one. Okay, according to medium.com, interests or activities are things that a person might be curious or concerned about, while hobbies are things or activities that a person does. Okay, so I guess the hobby is the act of doing. When you're participating in a hobby, you're actively participating in any activity or sport. Interests are often feelings or desires to learn more about subjects with the potential to become activities. For example, if you're interested in theater, you can occasionally study it and attend different performances. Okay, based on that, othership and coffee are hobbies of mine. LinkedIn claims that socializing, going to the gym, watching TV, browsing the internet are most commonly listed under hobbies or interests heading, yet they are not hobbies. They're part of a normal life. A hobby is a regular activity that is done for enjoyment, typically during one's leisure time. How do I know my interests? These are the things that are coming up on Google. When I search interests versus hobbies, I get what is hobbies and interests? It's really not proper grammar. What are interests versus hobbies on a resume? How do you list your hobbies and interests? Can a hobby be an interest? A hobby may be an interest, but it typically requires more commitment and involves taking action, like learning a new skill or collecting, building, or creating something. Hobbies are essentially the active pursuit of a personal interest. Okay, basically what I said before. What are the types of interests? Should I include hobbies and interests? Is watching TV a hobby? How do I know my interests? Is sleeping considered a hobby? Is it? No. Biologically prompted efforts to stay alive shouldn't be considered hobbies. You've heard it here first from jaltpublications.org. Is listening to music a hobby? Is acting a hobby? I would say yes. Is art a hobby? Is walking considered a hobby? It's considered a healthy hobby. Is shopping a hobby? What is not considered a hobby? Can reading be a hobby? Is cleanliness a hobby? These are so funny. Can wandering be a hobby? According to Wander on Facebook, wandering is not just a hobby, it's an art to connect with yourself. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling on about what I'm finding on Google, but moral of the story, bottom line, I want you to go out and find a new interest that you can pursue to be into a hobby. And I want you to comment it on my most recent Instagram post on @MorningRayPodcast, because I'd love to hear what your hobbies are. And I think it's really important that we all make it our goal for the rest of 2023 to find at least one new hobby, to try one new thing that we're going to dedicate at least an hour of our time every week. I feel like that's reasonable, 1 hour a week for the rest of the year. It's the end of August right now, so you have 4 more months to pursue a new hobby and make ourselves more interesting, find pleasure in our time outside of work or school, to make ourselves multifaceted individuals, to bring joy, purpose, and community to our life, and to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. I think that sounds like a really great plan. I feel like I've been very successful in finding new hobbies this year. Maybe I can go out and find another one. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as that is how you can help support the podcast. I love you guys so much, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Need parts now? O'ReillyAuto.com offers in-store pickup, same-day home delivery, or next-day home shipping. Get more parts your way at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.